Oh, yeah. By the way, I noticed your wrens are out there fluttering about since the last time I saw them.
I know there's been lots of tweeting in the nest.
Lots between the babies. Are they there?
They have hatched and they are both busy. It would seem there's equality in the bird world.
What? You mean with the wrens, the mama wren and the daddy wren?
Yep. While Mama was on the nest, I do believe Daddy was feeding her. And now they are both working to feed their babies. So is that how it is for humans?
In my experience, not all the time.
I don't remember my husband bringing me food while I was
Taking care of the
taking
babies.
care of the babies. No. And I did work during my pregnancies and after having had my babies. But I was still the number one food shopper, cooker.
Do we need to provide a disclaimer that this might be?
Somewhat sexist. Well, we could be talking from our own experience as well. I'm sure not everyone's, I know not everyone's experience is the same, right?
No, not at all.
So it's really just talking about our own experience of when does the man grow up? At what point?
I think
Are we responsible for it? I've got 2 boys. Am I responsible for rearing man babies?
that's a great question. And myself being a mother of a girl, I don't know the answer to that, but I don't know. Do the man babies, as we call them, are they trainable? And at what point do we think like, okay,
Yeah.
they're not a man baby anymore, child?
I think some of it is hereditary, right? We've gone through in the last 100 years. There's been massive changes for women, for changes in what we expect of ourselves
And their gender roles.
Yeah, and our gender roles, and how we raise our babies, perhaps, is intuitive to some degree. How we treat different sexes. I only had boys, so I don't know whether I would have really treated a girl any differently. I hope I wouldn't have done, but I don't know for sure because every gender they might like pink, or they might like boys like trains, but girls like trains too. But
little girls, you train to help with the laundry and to help do the dishes and to learn how to cook, whereas like little boys, they help mow the yard. And like I remember one time once I was divorced and Sydney got older, I was working a lot and I had asked her to mow the grass. She was like, no. And I think she was maybe, I don't even know, 10, 11.
Yep.
And she cried. She cried the whole time she mowed the grass.
Bless.
And it was flat. It wasn't even like there was a hill. It was very easy. It was a self-propelled mower. And she just sat and cried the whole time she was mowing.
I think Paul would have taken like a little girl out on his tractors to mow. I think he would have done those things. I don't think he would have gone, oh, she's a girl, she's not coming on the tractor to mow. I think he would have done those things if we'd had a girl. We only had certain toys in the house, so it's not like I was suddenly going to go out and buy them Barbies just to see what they would do with them.
Did they ever ask the boys? Did they ever ask for dolls or anything like that?
No, they never wanted a doll. So it's hard to know, isn't it, when you raise just one sex? I know with my sister, her eldest is a girl and her second is a boy. And there was always arguments and he broke all the heads off Charlotte's Barbies. A little bit,
Oh yeah, my brother and I growing up, I mean, he had lots of trucks and tractors and the rough and tough stuff.
But did you want to play with it ever?
No. In fact, I had really, really long hair as a kid, and he had these toys, like the little trucks, and they had like automatic wheels, and he would put them at the top of my head and turn them on, and like it would wind up my hair, and my mom would have to sit there. Oh gosh, it was that sister brotherly love. But yeah. I never ever wanted to like hang out and play toys. I think at one time, maybe when he was into like G.I. Joe, I needed to borrow G.I. Joe for like a Barbie wedding or something that I was having on the porch with my Barbies. But other than that, I had no interest.
No interest whatsoever.
No.
Yeah, and I think obviously when you grew up and I grew up, it was still very much like male female role models. So, like from our parents' perspective, that I know my mum raised two girls to be girls, not to be anything else. So we were taught like to cook, and my mum's vision was that you know a woman should clean the house. Not that she did, but a woman should clean the house and look after everything at home. She was very blessed. And like I said, she worked from home for 8 hours a week. But my dad would go to work and earn the majority of the income. And my dad wanted to be that
Right. Provider.
But did my mum have any motivation to think otherwise? My dad helped with the dishes. My dad was very helpful. He didn't, you know, he let her go and rest after dinner and did the dishes.
I really find that mind blowing. I think about that. I'm like, man,
I haven't got that.
If I would have seen my mother laying down in the middle of the day, I would have thought she'd taken ill. Like something was seriously wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, even now, if I saw that, she's 72. It's just mind blowing. And it's
so
different
that
time.
but yes, it was. And like I said, my mum and dad got married in the 60s. Your mum was probably a decade later.
Yep.
So that even in that decade, that short amount of time, when you think about what changed after the war for women, you know, who had finally got some respect in the workplace for the jobs they did during the war. Even after the war, though, they weren't allowed to have a lot of those jobs because the men coming back from the war had to have
something to do,
have the jobs.
Yep.
And the women were kind of sidelines into certain careers, like, you know, the stereotypical teacher, nurse, kind
secretary.
Yeah. I mean, even when I went to school, when I was in school, high school, and we had careers counseling, I was told very clearly that I could be a bilingual secretary. And I was supposed to think that was great.
Aspirations in life? Wow.
And we all had to take typing, and that wasn't because there were computers.
Right.
That was because we were going to be secretaries.
And you were going to be doing some typing.
And I was going to be working for a man. And I better learn shorthand, by gum, because you've got to talk, you've got to be fast, and you've got to make sure. And there was the epitome of the secretary sitting on the desk, you know, in her suit, and the man would be lying back in the chair dictating.
It's like the whole Mad Men like series, if you've ever watched that same thing. Like the guys are at the desk, the women are getting the coffee and doing all the things while the men do men things.
Yes. And in the 70s, I think that changed a little bit because there was much more like women wearing like hot pants and discovering themselves.
And no bra.
And that whole, and the hippie movement of...
They're like, I'm not shaving my armpits. I'm going to do what I want. And
And you're going to suck it up.
It was a revolution.
It was. It really was. And if you think about it, then by the time almost I came through college, which was from 83 to 87, my sister had got a job in sales, which was kind of new and different,
right.
You know, driving around the country. My mum was really worried because she was driving everywhere. And, originally, in my mum's era, the man drove.
Right.
So here was my sister going around the country in a sales job.
Women didn't do that.
No. And, she was, you don't know. It's not, is it safe kind of thing. And then I came out of college, and by that time, in 87, like so much had changed. So much had changed. And so those kind of changes happened, but did we change the way we reared our kids, or were men different? I think...
well, and I also think too with like raising boys and girls, like when I was younger, you had to sit like a lady, and you had to, say, excuse me if you burped, and like then your brother sit next to you just like ripping off some, gas, and it's like everyone's laughing, and you're like, hey, I get scolded and in trouble for being nasty like that, but everyone thinks it's funny for a boy. Like, okay. Or like, oh, boys will be boys. Like, you wonder how that whole thing came about. Like, it was just like allowed because they're male. Yeah. There was never a girls will be girls, really. It's always boys, so it meant different things. It's
different now as well, isn't it? But my first boyfriend at college, his mum had been single, and he was the youngest of 4, 2 girls and 2 boys. And he was very, very helpful. He knew how to iron. He'd been to public school, so that's a private school, expensive in England, very expensive private school. Yet he was not spoiled. He knew how to iron his clothes. He cooked. He made tea in the mornings. He did all of those things, and he was very gracious. So I think something to say to that would be he was raised by a single mum,
Right.
and she was working, and she, like your mum, couldn't just let him.
Well, it's funny you say that because we always joked like my brother and I were so different, but yet so alike in some ways. And my mom was like, I swear I raised you two the exact same, but it's like the nurture versus nature kind of a thing. And my brother he had a mind of his own. Like I had the fear of God in me. Like my mom, when she said no, it meant no. If my mom said no to my brother, he said, okay. And then he went and still did whatever he wanted. And it was like the consequences were different. But I was also the eldest and he was the baby. So it kind of goes back to the man baby thing. Like, do they just get away with it because they're men or...
I think also where you are in the family, like if you were the older boy and you'd been the younger girl, that would have been a different dynamic as well.
Absolutely.
And your mum might have treated you differently
Oh,
based on that, because it would have been look after your sister
Yep.
when you're out. But you were the mum to him.
Oh, yeah. Like I had an early curfew. My brother didn't have a curfew. I'm like, wait, what? I like paved the way. And yeah, I think it was because he was a boy.
Yeah.
You know, boys can't get pregnant.
Yeah, no, they can't. No. But you know, my husband now, he was raised on a farm, and he was his mum's wonderful. I love my mother-in-law. In case she's listening, he was raised, and his granny, you know, very, very, you know, clear on what the woman's role was. The woman's role was definitely to get dinner on the table, and to feed her husband. And when they would come in from the field, hot and sweaty, dinner would be, whatever time it was, dinner would be put in front of them.
Yep.
Within, you know, it wasn't a matter of, oh, I haven't got dinner ready tonight, darling. None of that. It was dinner in front of you.
My Gigi was the same way. If my grandpa came home or came in from doing stuff outside, there was a pot on the stove and here's dinner. I mean, it was ready.
Yeah. So Paul, my husband, grew up with that, with his mum, because he was busy out on the farm working with his uncle and stuff. And when he would come home in, he would have dinner put in front of him, and his sisters would be told, well, get the ketchup for your brother.
Yeah.
Like
I had to serve.
They did not
him.
like that. They did not like that.
No.
Can you imagine? I would have
No.
said, and actually I think his sister said, she told him, he can get the ketchup himself.
Good for her.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
go,
stick
girl.
up for yourself. Yes, exactly. So I do think, but so Paul was raised with these very strict, you know, very strong ideas of what the roles were, and so was I. So in a way, when we got married, I didn't mind
Right.
accepting the roles that we had, because we just made a very clear blue job, pink job.
Well, and when you're married, it's just the two of you. You're taking care of each other and you've got just the two of you. But then when children come along, your attention is directed somewhere else.
Man baby doesn't like that.
No. What do they call it? Peter Pan syndrome. They don't ever want to grow up. It's like, well, now we have a little person here and I'm going to need you to grow up a little bit because I'm kind of busy.
Yes. And you're forced to treat them differently because, number one, you're exhausted most of the time when you've had kids,
Yes.
right? Your body is, and your hormones, it's all consumed with this little person. Jenny Wren doesn't have that problem though, because they're both running backwards and forwards, feeding the babies in the nest.
Yeah. And then guess what? In a couple weeks when those babies have flown off, then Jenny Wren and Mr. Wren are back to their old, you know.
Yeah, it's only
schedule.
2 weeks, I guess. But maybe 2 weeks in the life of a wren is a long time. Who knows, right?
Oh,
But
yes.
I do think, you know, when I had my babies, and Paul wasn't coming around trying to help feed them or get their
No.
food ready or
No.
any of that stuff.
I think that's a huge adjustment to, you know, when you think of that. Like they still expect you to have all that time. And I think looking back now, that was probably the demise of my daughter's father. We were married, and us. I think he just couldn't. We were together for a long time before we had her, and then once she came along, he wasn't able to adjust. And kind of like take a different role and be a helper more to me, because I did do a lot and I didn't mind it at the time. But once she came along and I was working full time and oh my gosh, exhausted doesn't even cover it. And then, like you said, hormones play a huge thing. You're like, this is not my body anymore. Like, I'm trying to, nurse a baby. I'm trying to work a full-time job and still like pump and provide and keep my house picked up and, do all the things I did before, but you're exhausted. You're getting up in the middle of the night and while they're sleeping because they have to work in the morning. And you're like, well, I have to work in the morning too.
I think that is different now as well. I think more, Paul never got up a single night with any of our babies, whether it was bottle feeding or breastfeeding, obviously,
right,
or pumped milk. He slept,
right,
and I didn't really think too much about it because obviously, if you're breastfeeding, what's the point of him getting up?
Yeah, but I still think they should get up and like change their diaper and let you use the restroom. Maybe get you a glass of water. Like if you're up, they should be up.
Yeah, I guess I was always kind of, I don't know whether I'd call it considerate. I just thought there's no point him being up if I'm up because I'm awake. And I did want him to get a good night's sleep if he could. I don't know why. I didn't ever...
I think at times I was like that, but there were times when I hadn't slept well because the baby maybe had been up, or her tummy was upset or, something. And I just needed a little extra rest. And he was never good at taking like that cue.
Yeah.
And then, you try to like hold it in and then it's like you're nagging. And then of course...
I think things would have gone very bad between us if I had tried to get him out. Because he likes to stay in bed at the weekends until 9 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah. So he never got up with the kids in the morning.
9 a.m. That's late.
It is. That's his thing. You can set an alarm clock. You know exactly what time it is when you hear the shower go on. It's 9 a.m. and that's Paul.
So he's awake. He's just laying in bed.
He's awake. He lies in bed. Okay. Sometimes he's not awake, but most of the time sometimes he's dozing. Most of the time he's awake.
He likes a slow morning.
But when you've got littles, you can't do that.
No.
I was just lucky it didn't drive me insane. I mean, it did make me a little bit irritated, but there are lots of things that Paul's exceptionally good at. So he manages to get himself back into the good book by
all those good things?
Fixing things. He's the number one fixer in our house. So he is able to do anything and fix anything. So when you're living with somebody and anything breaks and they can fix it, that's a pretty high level skill to have. And most of my single friend females are like, God, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
When you're on your own and you're trying to fix something, whether it be outside in the house, inside in the house, anything, he can fix it. So
Josh is really good like that too. And my ex-husband was amazing at that stuff as well. So I think that's why I'm kind of drawn to that type of, like I said before, like a blue collar.
Useful.
They need to be able to fix stuff because I don't have time to mess with it. And I just need someone that knows what they're doing.
My dad wasn't good at fixing anything. He was and he would have said he was an absolute failure. Do not ask him to put.
So did he pay someone to fix stuff?
Well, my mum used to try and find a handyman or one of their friends who was good and beg them to come and, put
if they can't fix it, they need to be able to pay someone to work it out.
Daddy could. But he just did not like doing anything like that at all. And why would you ask someone to do something they absolutely hate and aren't good at? But then, like we said earlier, you can get better at something if you practice.
Yep.
But if you are good at something, you're going to be asked to do it a lot. So if you don't like doing it, you don't try to get better at it. Don't get good at things you don't want to do.
That's right.
And that's Paul as well. He doesn't want to get good at cooking and he doesn't want to get good at cleaning and he doesn't want to get good at doing dishes.
But he's amazing at that boiled egg on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
High level skill. Yeah. So it's those things, isn't it? But do you want to do something to just help that partner?
Right.
That's that thing between, in a marriage of two people. You've got to be able to look and see the signs of when they want you to say, hey, can I help you with something? Or can we do this together? Or can I wash the dishes while you're cooking? Or can I hold this while,
Yes.
how can I help you do this? And then that's when you're doing teamwork together as a couple. That's actually quite fun. Cooking in the kitchen with someone's a lot of fun.
It is, or it can be. I know, like, for me, I think we talked about this before, like the whole grocery shopping thing. A lot of times, if Josh is home, he'll hear me pull into the driveway, and he'll come out and help carry in the groceries. And I think that right there, I'm just like, oh, thank you. Like, that's a huge thing. And just to help me put it away. Half the time, like, he's really weird about like how things are in the fridge, and he likes to rearrange, because sometimes when I get home, I'm so tired after the shopping thing. I'm just annoyed with the people and all this stuff.
It's hot. Especially in the summer now. You get hot and sweaty.
I just shove it in the fridge, and he's like, no. And he's trying to rearrange stuff. So I appreciate that. But, there are some traits of people that have, Peter Pan syndrome. And
what are some of those traits? What are some of the things that
messiness? I looked it up. Messiness can be, and
so they don't clean up after themselves.
Yes.
So mummy's going to pick it up.
Yes, like my bathroom sink, I have a little basket where I want Josh to put all of like the stuff.
Yeah.
And he'll shave, and there'll be like whiskers everywhere. I'm like, just clean that sink. Does Paul do anything like that? Is he messy sometimes?
He is not messy at all.
No.
He's in fact, he's meticulous. He doesn't he's tidy. So he thinks that tidy is clean. Tidy isn't always clean.
What is it? Cleanliness is godliness.
Yeah, but he puts his things away, but that doesn't mean to say that you have cleaned up.
Right. So he picks up.
So he picks up.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't pick up anything that isn't his, though.
Oh gosh, no.
Even putting a dish in the dishwasher, if there's something else in the sink,
didn't use.
He won't at the same time put that in the dishwasher, because that's not his. But he does clean up after himself. So he's not terribly messy. All his like dirty clothes are always in the laundry basket rather than on the floor. So as a sort of man baby, I would say Paul is definitely not a man baby.
Right.
Because he's got all these other high level skills.
Right.
But there are some things that he is going to avoid doing. And when we used to have dinner parties, he would, when everyone had gone, he would go downstairs and watch the TV and leave me with the dishes.
Yeah. And it's like that scene from The Breakup where you're like, I want you to help me clean up.
Help me finish, and we could finish.
And he's like, why would I want to help do the dishes, or why would anyone want to do the dishes? It's like,
because we can do it together, and it's kind of that brings an end to a nice evening. If you've had a nice evening with friends,
right
now, but actually now Paul does help me with the dishes, so he has kind of
come a long way,
learned that skill. It's taken me like 20 years.
So one of the other traits was that they can't handle criticism. So maybe he's taken on this criticism over the years and realized that maybe I should just help her. And
on a couple of things, but if you criticize him, if you say anything critical, it's a very reactive point.
Yeah, I wonder why they get so like bent out of shape. It's like you're assaulting them.
And actually, most of the time I say, I'm not criticizing, I'm just trying to educate. I'm just trying to say, but then it's like, oh God, you're always nagging me. I'm like, I'm not a nag. I don't want to be a nag. If you listen the first time, I won't have to say it again.
Just listen.
Yeah,
that's why the good Lord gave you 2 ears. Well, and here's another one of the reasons it could be a man-child that you're dealing with. They say they think that their stress is worse than your stress.
Well, that's a bit of gaslighting, isn't it?
It sure is.
And I don't think Paul or necessarily every partner intends to gaslight when they say you're crazy, you're nuts, they're just trying to say
you're reading into things.
Yeah, they want to say that you're expecting too much of them. They don't like having someone expect too much of them.
No. Not when we feel like we have everything on our shoulders. They want
to feel like they're a provider.
Yes.
So if you start expecting too much of them, then it's kind of like, whoa, overload.
Then they don't feel like they're doing their job, and they're going to have to do more.
Yes.
No, not more.
It's just, and I think, understanding some of these things when you're first married to somebody is a good thing, because otherwise they come at you and you're like, what changed? Why are we suddenly incompatible?
Right.
But actually, it's not that. It's just that everything's changing around you. And if you want to stay married, and if that person has enough good in them to make you feel like you want to stay with them, then you also have to give
100%
some things up.
You do have to let things go, and you have to pick your battles.
Yes.
And there are a lot of battles. I mean, I'm not married. I've been in a long-term relationship. And there are days when I could probably poke his eye out, and him the same to me.
Exactly.
We try to not go to bed angry, but there are days when you just have to go to your separate corners and like work it out yourself,
Right.
and then come back around and be like, and you think you've had time to think about the conversation, and say, I think that you misread what I was trying to say. Like, you have to discuss it. But in any relationship, we're talking like girlfriend relationships, like it's work. You have to take that other person's feelings into consideration.
Yeah, and picking battles, that's probably what I did all the time, like we said, bringing the groceries in. That doesn't happen in my house. I do all of that. I put everything away. I cook 90% of the time.
Does he take out the trash?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
Josh
he
does
does.
that.
But, so I definitely think picking your battles. I pick some of them. Like now and again, I'll say, well, it would have been nice if somebody would have helped me with the bags. Oh, I didn't know you were back. Well, you kind of did.
Yeah. I love when they play like dumb. Like, you didn't hear me? Like, you're in the basement. How do you not hear me? But here's a couple other things.
Maybe we just have to be noisier, slap and drop something and make it real.
So the other things for man children are like, they're not sure how to do like grown up tasks, like tying a tie or setting a table or making a doctor's appointment for themselves.
Well, I think both my boys are able to tie a tie. Doctor's appointments.
Gotta work on that.
I think they would make doctor's appointments. I think they don't need to see the doctor, so they're not very sickly kids. So that's not something that's in their daily.
They still consider that enabling. And now they're of age, so they're 18. Don't you have to have them do it now?
Yes. So obviously they go to the doctors on their own.
Right.
But yes, I said to Jacob, he hasn't got a primary healthcare physician. I said, you need to get yourself a doctor so that when you get sick, you have somewhere to go. Owen's just got himself a doctor.
Yeah.
So, but I helped him find which doctor to go to and set him up.
I had to do that with Josh before he had to have that hernia surgery. I can't even talk. And yeah, I mean, I was like, you have this sleep apnea. You need to go have this looked at and, see if this is a hernia thing again. And I didn't make the appointment, but I did really have to push and push and push. When you tell someone like, I've heard you die like 3 times last night while you were sleeping from your snoring, you need to go address that. So
yeah, some people take that bait, other people don't. I don't think men like to go to the doctor because it makes them feel sickly and weak.
They don't want to know bad news.
No.
Because they can't handle that. And they think it's going to be bad news when they can just go and they're like, yep, you're good. See you next year. And it's like, see, don't you feel better now? We're women. We have to go like to all these different doctors.
But we all procrastinate on some things. So, but things like even, just finding things in the closet or finding things. I mean, I can't tell you how many times Paul goes, where is that thing? You must have moved it. Or he'll say, I'll send him down to get me a jar of tomato sauce off the shelves in the pantry. I can't find anything down here.
Yes.
I don't know where anything is.
Yes. You put it somewhere where I can't see it. And yes, that happens to me. So let me tell you, this is going to be really funny. And I know we're getting to the end, but I'll tell this story quick. Before I lived with Josh, he had this round black table in his kitchen, and it's a small kitchen, and it was like this pub table, and it had 2 like chairs next to it. That pub table was not a table that you sat at and had a meal. It was the collection of all things. It was mail. It was a screwdriver, a hammer. It was
dumping ground.
hats. I mean, it was literally anything, keys, anything. And I always joke that like men have to have everything at arm's reach. Like if it's not right in front of them, they cannot see it. And so when I moved in, that was the stipulation. We had to get rid of the pub table. It's still in the home. It is just in the basement in the man cave now. And you can actually sit at it if you want to eat at it now. But we joke about that pub table a lot because any flat surface is got, like it's got something on it.
Well, he knew where everything was.
He knew where everything was.
Because it was on the pub table.
I curse that dang table. And when he can't find something, that's exactly what he says now. He'll say, man, I sure do miss my pub table. And I just have to roll my eyes. It's like, you know what?
Like I would be able to find it if only you hadn't got rid of the pub table.
That's what he's insinuating. I'm
So
like,
it's your fault, Missy.
he can literally, it would be right in front of his face and he would not see it. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. These little men, children,
I don't know where
we love
Paul is
them.
now. He's probably outside chopping down some sort of tree. Hopefully not going to give me poison ivy.
Make sure he washes up his clothes and I know his little man child. We love them. We do. We all have them, and they've come a long way. Some are still in training,
and we've come a long way too. So that's the important life lesson.
We're not
really.
perfect at all. I'm not
Although
trying to
like
claim that.
be.
We're just, we're all trying to figure our way through this crazy world and
be the best we can, and the kindest we can, and at the same time raise our kids to be good.
Yes.
Partners. I hope both my boys are great partners for somebody and can share and can contribute and can have happy lives.
I think that Jacob and Sylvia, like, they seem to be a good match.
They're very good.
And, it's crazy when you look at your child in a relationship, a serious relationship that, like, my daughter's married now. I'm like, my daughter is a wife.
And it's
like,
just learning to be a good together, learning to
and
be
they
good
are.
together.
They're a
grow
good
together.
match. Like she is like me, but not like me. And that's a good thing. Like it works for them. And that's what matters.
Anyway, I think that's enough today.
I do too.
I think we didn't man bash too badly.
Not
did we?
too bad. It could have gone way worse. We've got some more stories in our belt, but we'll have to save those for another day.
Well, so we'll see you next week.
All right, everybody, take care.
Bye.
Bye.